this Aatrox dominance, right? A lot of games that JDG won is because Once picks up the Aatrox. And that shows confidence right now for JDG. Also towards Trace Esports, right? Because they're the ones who banned out the Wukong. They're the ones who banned out the Kaz, that usually is some sort of a tool that can be utilized to take down an Aatrox, to suppress him as well. But now they're banking out a little bit on damage. Corki is actually one of the champs that you can just pick up early, simply because there's not a whole lot of champions that can be utilized into the mid lane if you are going to pick up something like an standard ADC like the Jhin, maybe even the Varus, because you have to complement each other. Balance the AP and the AD ratio of the team so that you can just fully utilize it against your enemy team. Yeah. Aside from the Gragas, right, that we have seen yesterday surprise even the likes of Naos eSports.
I mean, it was a pretty big surprise if I'm being honest, because Naos eSports, they never did ban out the Gragas, and KT Rolster Y, whenever they had Zero on that Gragas, he was kind of a menace. But now I don't think we're going to be seeing the Gragas, because these teams, they kind of want to play it a little bit straight, you know, no surprises, no special things coming out for the playoffs, just the same kind of meta that we have seen from week number 10 of the regular season, especially with this Alistar pick and the Jhin for Jaja.
Kai'Sa's still gonna be respected here by Trace Esports as well, right? JDG, they can still flex the Aatrox to a different lane, maybe the Varus as well, and you just don't want to give any opportunity here on the side of JDG, especially given their history, right? The last time they have met on day number 15, JDG secured 2-0 against them. And now, since they have established Corki and Jhin as their ADCs in mid lane and in the Dragon lane, you have to take out some of those assassins, which Akali is just one of those champions that can easily access the backline and just delete anything that crosses his path.
Yep, that is one of the things that, one of the threats that Trace Esports does not want Jingdong Gaming to have, but Jingdong Gaming will be picking up the Zeri. So it is going to be double AD for both of these teams. Now, who's going to round out the compositions? Will it be the Garen here? Yes, it will for Lee Sao, but oh, come on, please pick the Amumu. I am begging you. I am literally begging for the Amumu to be picked up right now. I would be so happy if it happened, but we all know that is not how these teams roll, unfortunately. So it will be the Gwen in the jungle, interestingly enough, versus Sani with Fiora.
Looks like Feibai is wanting to redeem his Zeri performance again, because they only used it one time during their series against OMG.
Yeah.
And, well, it didn't turn out into a win, but right now I think this is looking pretty good.
It really is looking amazing at the moment. So that being said, what can we expect here? Because this is both teams have two very execution heavy compositions, right? You have the Zeri and Varus versus the Corki and Jhin for the damage dealers here for Trace Esports and Jingdong Gaming respectively. But Once is on that Aatrox. I kind of want to see. I kind of want to see if he's going to be the carry instead, or will he steal the thunder from the ADs, or is he just going to be a little, you know, a little bit more supportive, a little bit more of a stun lord?
Yeah, there's a lot of suppression actually on the side of Trace Esports. Interruption as well. One of the things that you can actually do against an Aatrox to prevent him from doing his usual combo, just like a Riven, is have the Garen silence him and then just try to suppress him, burst him out early, and have the Demos and Justice to pin him down. That can equate to a -1 advantage of Trace Esports and just take down the rest of JDG. But they have to address Sani, of course. This is a player that is just so stable in the laning phase, and it's hard to actually take him down. Even if you invest a lot of resources against Sani, most of the time he's able to slip his way. Especially now, using the Fiora, the lane matchup would actually favor him.
Exactly, and this really does. Okay, Dog's being a little cheeky right now. I love that. He is being very, very cheeky. Just Once has no clue. He doesn't even have vision, I don't think, of the Raptor cap. So now he does, but it's already gone. And Tak is just going to get that XP lead. Gap Once just a tiny bit, But that does come at the cost of Jaja being left alone in the bot lane for a little bit.
Yep, securing solo XP, I think it's a worth it. Tak is going to be there anyway after a short while. Doki just establishing vision a little bit deeper in the jungle here of Trace eSports. But that cheeky play that Tak actually did negated some of the XP and gold that one can actually get in the early game. And I think one of the primary goals that your team should have when you're battling against an Aatrox is try to prevent him from scaling up. Because when he gets his items, when he reaches level 5, he's going to be looking for picks.
Yeah, and picks are going to be rolling here, probably, if he does get to that point quicker than his enemy laner. But yeah, with all that being said, now it is going to be a little bit of a slow start. Nothing like the the kind of non-stop action that we saw yesterday. So this is a Chinese conference. They are playing very, very carefully. Sani did take a lot more damage than he planned to, so Lee Sao will have the priority in that lane. Now, when we do get to 5 minutes, when the objective spawn, I feel like they are still just going to go for an objective trade here.
Trace eSports, they have a lot of scaling champions. Gwen, the Corki, well, the Jin is a bit of an early game champion, but he needs some sort of tank. He needs a tank that can actually suck the damage. Tak can serve the role. But I think given the composition of JDG, they can easily just burst him up, especially if Sani is in the mix. So I think Trace eSports would actually opt to get the Dragon instead, allow JDG to get the RH, accelerate the game. Look at the stats here of Once as well. He's just so good on this Aatrox. Might want to dive at top lane, but I don't think it's a good idea since this is a Garen of Lee Sao. It's so hard to take Garen down.
Yeah, very, very difficult to dive that champion because he is naturally tanky, but with 3 of them, he does have to wait for Tak to get over there before he really is able to defend the tower. So lots of plate value already on the side of JDG. They got a couple of plates there, and there is barely any response from the Trace eSports side. They are not doing the same thing. They're not pushing the lanes as hard.
They're taking their time, especially at mid lane. It's both champions are very, very much just going to be scaling into the late game. So it takes so much time and resources just for her to pop off or deal even the slightest of damage. Corki as well is very similar to that. And the only thing that is keeping Weibai safe right now is the presence of Once all the time. Doki as well can easily just interrupt the lane whenever Tak or Weiba tries to gank a particular lane, and just waiting patiently for the objective to spawn. We're just a little under the 4-minute mark. Vision establishment is going to start for both teams, and look, it looks like both teams are actually interested in the dragon, especially with the introduction of the Ice Dragon, right? Giving so much ability haste, and up to, if you're gonna be able to stack 3 of those dragon stacks, then you're just going to maximize the ability haste, reduce your cooldown of your spells, and just continue on the onslaught.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love that ability haste. Dragon, it is just so difficult for teams to get more ability haste with their Hold That Thought, because there is going to be an attempt here from Doki. He will get the stun off onto Tak as well, but Lee Sao and Tak a little bit too tanky for them to really go for anything more, especially without Once there to kind of keep them in check.
Yeah, the best combination the JDG can actually have is when Sani uses the Grand Challenge onto enemy, probably Lee Sao, to remove one tanky member of Trace eSports, is that they need to synergize with Juju. Proc in the stacks off the virus and then just burst him out. Then they can have the healing of the Fiora once that they have taken one member of Trace eSports. But right now, they're grouping up. They want to establish control on the top side river, but Trace eSports is responding towards the other half.
Yeah, a little bit of a good response here from Trace eSports, because it is still going to be slightly challenged on the top side by that Garen, but it should just be a free objective trade on both sides. Nobody really wants to come to conflict this early on in the game. They just want to get this tower over and done with, maybe escort Shelly in there, but Once thinks twice about that.
Uh-oh.
Okay, by there's a dive.
Yep, they have The Rift Herald spawn into the mid lane, take a tier 1 tower down early into the game as well. A second charge by Shelly is going to be a big impact here for JDG. Definitely they got their money's worth here in that trade. Yeah, the Ice Dragon was handed over to Trace Esports, but they got a tower in the mid lane, second charge in the second tower as well. In the top lane, tier 1 is close to being just destroyed here by Sunny.
Yeah, close to just going down even without the help of Shelly. So the first turret will be given over to JDG. No contest there from Trace Esports because they know, you know, there's not really a whole lot of point in them defending it right now. But later on, you know, this may come to bite them back in the butt later, because that is just, you know, a lot of freedom for Jingdong Gaming to roam around the map and really start looking for plays inside the jungle of Trace Esports as well.
Yeah, and especially San is using the Fiora, right? Eventually he will win the laning phase against Lisa. And I think it's a dual purpose that JDG has made, keeping the tower alive into the top lane of Trace Esports, because that keeps the wave in the upper echelon of the map. That way they can make plays.
Yes, his plays are being made right now with the World Ender. Once is going to be ongoing to Weiba, and he does get that kill pretty much solo, just taking the Gwen down. The jungler, star jungler of Trace Esports, not really able to respond to that because he had no support, and the map movements of Jingdong Gaming are just really, really good. Although the pressure here onto the bot lane on Feibai will not result in all too much for Trace Esports side. Ooh, Doki almost found that out, but now because they know that he's not there, Feibai is very free to go hard onto Rose. No mana, had to use a flash to get out of there.
And that allowed JDG to save their tower into the bot lane as well. So far, no towers taken by Trace Esports. This is an early game well established by JDG, taking down 2 outer turrets already of Trace Esports, and Sunny, of course, is now starting to be online. Lisa cannot 1v1 this Fiora any time of the day. He needs reinforcement. He needs additional support from his allies. And I think Weiba is not strong enough to actually take down this Fiora as well. He will try. He's on his way there. Ignite is here.
Yeah, and Sunny is going to be fighting a 1 versus 2 with the Grand Challenge issued. He will be able to flash out and get away from there. Although he went a little bit harder on Lee Sao, he may have been able to get that heal field to pop off and really get that 1v2 going, but not for now. For now, we will just be resetting the field, basically.
Yeah, Sunny, 2v1, not a problem. Still able to win the trade. It didn't get any kill, but almost took down Lisa despite the help of Weiba and managed to slip away. This is something that we have talked about in the initial start of the game as well. That's why he is going to be a big problem now that he has the Hull Breaker. Who do you send now? If you send Weiba, then JDG can just easily take a dragon.
Yeah, very, very easily take a dragon, I might add. So you cannot risk it if you're Trace Esports. You have to kind of contest that, especially since there's no other Rift Herald to trade out, since there's only one now. You have to, you know, make your mark here in the bot lane. Maybe get the tower, get a little bit of freedom there, get a lot of vision control in that lower jungle area, so that you can, you know, so that you are able to really perform when you need to get to that dragon.
At least the Black Cleaver is doing work here for Lisa, dealing some bit of damage against Sunny. Because normally we do see the Hull Breaker priority, right? But I think Lisa wants to also have, you know, damage so that he can trade out against Sunny, get that early game advantage as well. Especially for team fights, when the Garen is going to be involved, there's a lot of armor reduction that he's going to be able to add into the mix. Team fighting, I think, is very essential here for Trace Esports, but I don't think they are going to be contesting this dragon take of JDG.
Yeah, unfortunately, they were not. They really don't want to risk this dragon fight going sour, because, I mean, JDG, they do have 1 kill, but with that dragon being traded out for a tower, Trace Esports are kind of focusing a little bit more on getting themselves a little bit more fed, a little bit, you know, a little bit more. How do I say this? A little bit more to the level of Jingdong Gaming, because that gold lead is not shrinking at all. It's 4.7 thousand.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the macro of JDG has been so much better, so much more on point at the moment.
I mean, I would say that the reason why Trace Esports is experiencing this is because they have double scaling, but so does JDG, right? But they're being able to be very efficient across the map. Once his presence is felt all over the map here of Trace Esports, and now Sandy, I think, has been a big impact here in this game as well, just with his mere presence into the top lane, providing so much pressure here against Trace Esports, forcing some of their members to actually go there on top side, allowing JDG to make plays like this. Doki is very consistent in setting up these death brushes, and a lot of times we have seen him actually make the play.
Oh, that is going to be a play. They have found their prey, and it will be the Fiora Sani going down a little bit too in front, a little bit too aggressive inside the enemy jungle.
He thought he would be safe. He thought the time of recalling would be enough before the members of Trace Esports actually get to him, but was wrong. I mean, even the pros make mistakes. JDG, they want to go in.
Oh, they are gonna go in, and they will get that catch once again. Weiba is the victim. Lee Sao now, he's the one on the chopping block, but JDG know that they have to be careful still. They cannot underestimate the teamfight potential from Trace Esports, even though, you know, they have 100% more kills than Trace Esports right now. There is the curtain call, but Doki is the one who's going to be attacking it all with his, you know, his increased resistances, and he's trying to single out Talk, trying to isolate that guy, but the Justice will drop down onto his head. Who's going to win the smite fight? It will be once again, and Lee Sao incredibly low. Can they finish him off? No, they cannot. It is once again Sandy who goes down, and Trace Esports, they may have an opening here, but the exhaust just immediately takes any damage away from the ADC. Once now he has popped the World Ender, and he is ending the world of Trace Esports. He's going to end the life of Lee Sao right there on Ace 4-3.
I thought the Trace Esports would actually get the team fight done, but the stasis plays. Oh man, JDG got a better end than that, especially after once came back into the fight. Especially with the buff as well that they acquired from the Baron. I mean, it gives, you know, combat stats as well, and now they're able to easily take down this tower into the mid lane, maybe even pressure down this inhibitor tower. Trace Esports, they tried to contest, but it only resulted to more casualties.
Yeah, and let's take a look at that again, because it was Trace Esports who were trying to get in the middle of that, and sorry, I misspoke, it wasn't an ace, it was a 4-for-3. It still went the side of Jingdong Gaming.
Yeah, and JDG, they immediately lost Doki, right? It should have been advantage for Trace Esports, but look at the way that they are kiting. Look at how they were able to make that outplay at the very end. They're not done. Feibai might actually get taken down at the very end, but look at the stasis. That bought enough time for Juju to get the reset, get the arrow done, and then once just punish the overextension that Trace Esports had in that fight.
Yeah, and that overextend will be punished very, very hard here. Now, though, I don't think Jingdong Gaming will be looking to extend as much, just because they really cannot risk it, since they know that, you know, Trace Esports are still very, very willing to, you know, fight and die on the sword right now. So what is the move here? What is the play when it comes to Jingdong Gaming? Because even though they are ahead by 6,000 gold, it seems like Trace Esports are still the ones who want to control these fights.
Yeah, because I think one of the primary goals here of Trace Esports is to take down Doki, because he's just an incredible playmaker here of JDG, right? That was their execution as well in the previous team fight. It kind of worked. It's just that they need now to give attention towards one. He's 5-0, and now they're starting Dragon.
5-0, 4,000 gold up, and no smite steal at all. Weiba is way too far away, but they may be taking this fight, as Doki may want to re-engage. As he does, Sandy goes in as well. There's a riposte, just blocking all the CC. But Trace Esports is in such a tight corridor. They are in a lot of danger for just those piercing arrows, for those Ws from Feibai. So they will just disengage, get out of there. But that is 2 dragons already for the side of Jingdong Gaming.
Yeah, second dragon. Trace Esports, I want to commend them for trying to interrupt despite the gold deficit. Right now it's 7,000, right? And most of it is funneled towards once as well. So it is a scary time trying to get that steal for Weiba. But they managed to slip through, didn't give any kills towards JDG. I think that is a good intention, good execution as well. They have more chances now that Baron is about to be up in the next few seconds. Elder Dragon as well spawning up the next few minutes, and that is the chance that Trace Esports need to take again.
Yeah, but can they take that chance, especially with how scary once is? They pretty much have to disable this Aatrox, but that is going to be a near impossible task right now, unless they jump on it right now with Talk just there. But they are just going to jump onto the other members. Doki and Juju, they are very vulnerable. They're not at mobile. Doki trying his best to block everything, and he does still get away with a sliver of health, but now Feiba's in the fight. He does go down though, as already once is going to be in it. The world-ending mode. He's trying to run down the rest of the members of Trace Esports, and everybody is on the chase right now. Feibai with a flash, exhaust, and Sandy. They want to finish off Lee Sao, and they will get that kill. It's Sandy who takes it, and that signals the start of the Baron.
Oh man, Trace Esports, they tried to get onto Juju. They were very desperate. They almost had him as well. The only thing that stopped them is the picture-perfect chain of corruption towards the back line that prevented Jaja from reaching him as well. And we saw Lisa trying to actually land the sword, almost chunking down once and bursting him out. Let's check out the replay one more time, because that's an incredible execution, especially in a high-pressure situation for JDG. Chain of Corruption interrupting the follow-up from Jaja, was able to stasis as well. The knock-up coming in from Doki, and even surviving for so long was key for them being able to take over the team fight. And once didn't die after the sword being dropped, and it means that they can just go full-on power mode against Trace Esports, and nothing can stop them after all the bursts not being available now for Trace Esports.
Yeah, I mean, what can Trace Esports do at this point? It is not, it's not looking all too good for them, but what do you think they can do to come back? Because they are just being aggressive in their base. Talk a little bit ambitious there, but goes into stasis. There's a curtain call to try to save him, but he will not be safe. He will be killed off, and Juju just barely dodges out on that last curtain call shot as Weiba is trying to get away. He just barely makes it, but the grand challenge is still on him. Lee Sao is the one who gets Sandy though. That is a lot of damage onto the members of JDG, but they have taken out the top inhib turret, they've taken out the mid inhib turret, and they are going to take that as a win and go to the Elder Drake.
To answer your question, I think there is a slight chance here for Trace Esports, but they need to take down once. I think they can, in a way, because Weiba is starting to hurt as well. We're starting to see the shredding damage of the Gwen, and paired up to pair it up with the Jin's executing damage, especially with the Collector and the Infinity Edge available. I think they can take him down, but oh no.
Uh-oh, as once he is... Oh, well, he hasn't been enough, a little bit more than he can chew. He just absolutely bursted down Jaja. Now, Weiba may be the next thing on the table for him, but the World Ender is going to run out right now. The stasis popped onto Roses. The rest of Jingdong Gaming, they funnel into this fight as Talk is just going to get slowed down. He has to flash out. Lee Sao trying to keep him safe, but Feibai is on the chase. Now, Feibai may be in danger from Lee Sao. But Jingdong Gaming, they're just going to pile onto the Garen. They don't care. They're going to dive him under the inhib turret. They don't care at all, and they're just going to go on to the Nexus. What is the play here for Trace Esports? They're just going to let the Nexus die, as that will be it for Jingdong Gaming winning the first game.
I mean, let's call it. That was